Hey, it's Nikbagtv.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Mr. Nikbagtv, aka Blogaholic, back in the building, back in the mix. Right now, I want to talk about this, man. All of these professional sport analysts, commentators, all of these guys, man, they all have an opinion, and I think it's time that we start, tracking their stats, man. Because if you look at it, you got guys like Stephen A. Smith, who has one of the worst records when it comes to predicting NBA finals. Skip Bayless, who's just terrible when it comes to critiquing star athletes, particularly LeBron James, and now he turned his focus to Giannis Antetokounmpo, Greek freak. Sorry if I said his name wrong. I don't get paid to do this, but all of them guys, man, like every series, they have an analysis, a prediction of who's going to win the series, how far it's going to go. A lot of people use their quote unquote professional opinion to make bets, to watch the game, and they go off of what they say because they look at them guys as the professionals, the insiders who know a little bit more about the sport than we do. But if you really pay attention to their picks, Jalen Rose, that a lot of these guys flip-flop depending on the game, depending on the temperature in the room, and nobody is set in their picks or their opinion. It just changes by the day. Jason Williams, and a lot of these dudes need to start getting their record put on blast. Just like they talk about players' shooting percentage or how a player is not performing well, people need to track these analysts and how they're performing with their opinions and what they say is going to happen to a person's career or a game or prediction, this and that. In the case in point, man, Keyshawn Johnson recently was asked if he thought the Memphis Grizzlies was going to get swept by the Golden State Warriors, and he said, quickly, not even thinking, yes. It's like, dude, yes. Have you been watching the season or have you just been skimming through it? Have you been watching the Memphis Grizzlies? John Morant, do you know what these dudes is about? Physical team, fast team. They can play small, they can play big. Like, I'm already on the bandwagon of John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. I think they're actually going to beat the Golden State Warriors. And I thought that from before game one, before the playoffs started, I kind of picked the Grizzlies to go to the finals. I know it's a stretch. A lot of people say they're young, they're not ready, maybe a year or two, but I just think Ja is different. And we saw that last night when he put up 47 points. He's a different guy. He's a different cat, man. Like the way he gets to the lane, the way he's not scared of the moment. He hit big shots when he needed. He's just a different guy, man. I like Ja game. I think the Memphis Grizzlies have a bright future. But a lot of guys are predicting them dudes to get swept. The series is over because they lost a game and had to win a game one. I mean, this is a 7-game series. You got to win 4 games. At least let Golden State get up 3 before you say they're going to win the series and make a prediction like that. Like, these guys make the most terrible take. They say the terrible takes, and nobody is holding these guys accountable like they hold athletes accountable when they have bad games. We need to start holding Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, J.J. Redick, Kendrick Perkins, all them guys accountable. Speaking in general, Kendrick Perkins, are you serious? Like, who gave this dude authority to speak about basketball? If you're young enough to remember, Kendrick Perkins was straight up trash. Like, this dude was nothing. Only thing Kendrick Perkins did in his career was get drafted to the Celtics when they had one of the big 3, and they had a ready-made championship, and he just was a big goon, a big goof. I don't know Kendrick Perkins' stats, but I'm going to say they are underwhelming. Like, this dude, Kendrick Perkins, was a walking turnover. Now, people say a walking bucket, walking turnover. He couldn't shoot, couldn't dribble. Only thing he was a big blob in the lane. Like, let's be honest, man. Kendrick Perkins should not be talking about anybody's skills, anybody's playing basketball, none of that. He was one of the worst players in the history of the sport, period. Watch it. Watch it. I'm sure it's a highlight reel of Kendrick Perkins not doing shit. Like, this dude was trash, man. He didn't even average 10 double-double. Like, his career, to me, was worse than Kwame Brown's. Like, come on, man. Kendrick Perkins really talking about how people play and critiquing. It's getting crazy right now with all of these picks, with all of these analysis, and all of these things these guys say they're not getting held accountable. But what y'all think, man? Like, tell the truth, man. Like, certain people should not talk about basketball. Kendrick Perkins is one. I feel like when I see guys like Kendrick Perkins talk about basketball, I have the full right and feel like I have the authority to talk about basketball. Because Kendrick Perkins was a waste of space. He was trash. And I don't understand where he gets the confidence to call people out. Just because he won a championship on a ready-made team, that's not enough authority for me to say that I'm going to look at your opinion as it means something. You just like me. just a dude with a camera talking. And I'm not hating on him. He's getting his money. He's successful doing it. A lot of people like what he says. But at the end of the day, it's like, who are you, Kendrick Perkins, to call somebody out saying they don't want smoke? Like, dude, you was a walking turnover, a walking 6 fouls. You were just a big body. Like, you did nothing. And again, all these analysts and their opinions and their analysis of the game is so far off, and what they predict is so crazy. They flip-flop so much that it's getting to the point where I'm like, dude, why do these dudes get paid so much to say so little and bring nothing to the table? Like, seriously, like Stephen A. Smith predicted KD was going to score 40 points after you saw that the Celtics defense was stabilizing him. Like, where do you get 40 points from? It's like, come on, man. Where they get these opinions? They sound like 10-year-olds just talking about what they think is going to happen that never happens. So what do y'all think about all these analysts and sports predictions that's so far off that it's crazy? Jalen Rose is another one. I remember when the Nets made the trade for Ben Simmons and James Harden, Jalen Rose literally went on camera in the morning and said, the Nets won this trade. Then in the afternoon, the 76ers won this trade. It's like, dude, every game they flip-flop. Right now the narrative is James Harden is done. He doesn't have it in him. He lost it. Now, if James Harden have a big game tonight, James Harden was back. We had a James Harden spotting. The dude, he was a former MVP. He is like, now they're going to jump back on him. Like, I can't take it no more. The flip-flopping, they need to get it together. And people need to start taking notice, taking tabs, like really putting their percentage and their record up there so we can see it just like we see all these athletes they critique every day. That's my opinion, man. What y'all think about that? It's your boy.